Welcome to the Career Jitsu Podcast, where we connect the art of Jiu-Jitsu with your career. Our mission is to empower and inspire you with engaging conversations and valuable insights from people just like you who benefit from the shared relationship between your workplace and the art of Jiu-Jitsu, leading you to a more fulfilling... Hello, welcome to the Career Jitsu Podcast. Wow, are we excited today? We have a legend in BJJ to talk with us today about a program that he is getting going. It's called Mach 5. And Mach 5 is like, if you can imagine, it's this big hub of resources for BJJ Academy owners, BJJ practitioners, where they can go on to this hub and get all types of valuable information on support systems and resources, and almost like a playbook for themselves. So we're going to talk about that with Professor Machado. So thank you so much, Professor Machado, for coming out and seeing us today. We appreciate your time.
No, it's my pleasure. First, what a pleasure to be on your show. Mach 5 was an idea. I was talking to Larry. I have opportunity to know everybody in the community of the sport of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, fighters, and I have so many great people. And the conversation start like, what can I do to help to create a union, to organize seminars, to organize camps, to organize things for attract these guys together. And based like we start like create like camps all over the world right now. I going to Philippines to meet the president of Philippines. We're talking about Mach 5. After this, I have trips to Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Qatar, Saudi, to talking about the organization. I'm going to start doing a tour in Brazil to promote Mach 5. Already going to book like maybe 20 seminars to go from south to north, everywhere, Rio, São Paulo, to make a market the Mach 5 everywhere. My next step is to go to Europe to start organize more union, attract the guys. Because what I try to do is imagine like this, you have 50 of the top competitors doing programs, doing teaching, because some people is very specific, good in some things. And it's not only that, we're going to bring health, nutrition, training, business advisors to help to get these guys to the next level. This union is going to be good for the sport because it's not like, example, association. I don't want to have association, Rigan Machado, this and that. I like that. I have that already. But I want to do something big, something like in future can spread to do events. Or in future, you know what I mean? You can do something fundraise to help communities, people who need help, you know what I mean, to get things for help kids to have a scholarship to training. You know what I mean?
Right.
Right now, I think in the next 2 or 3 months, you're going to have at least like 300 or 400 schools attached to us. And I believe the next day, in 1 year, you're going to have close to over 1,000 academies. And I think when you start creating a union, it's just going to get bigger and bigger, and it's going to be good for the sport. Have a lot of good organizations competing against each other, but which ones unite everybody? Which one is more about the sport and the health, the mind, you know what I mean? The educational. Yeah, I start thinking like, I want to create that. And little by little with Larry, we come out the idea, let's do Mach 5. And it's going to be the fastest jiu-jitsu organization grow ever. And the support I have from the celebrities is going to be huge. I have Ashton Kutcher, I have Mel Gibson, I have guys like Diego Boneta, who want to just help us. And I think this is going to be huge. I think the opportunity is huge. Go ahead, guys. I talk too much.
Now you have Career Jitsu on your side. So,
Yeah,
Let's do it.
You can officially be famous now that you're on the Career Jitsu Podcast. This is your
That's
official
right.
ability to be famous
No. It's
now.
a pleasure because
That's
any
beautiful.
help is a good help. You know what I mean?
We are definitely going to promote this everywhere in our links. Our listeners are going to check out what you're doing. And so this is interesting because I don't think there's another organization that does this, creating like a global network of jiu-jitsu practitioners and teachers, but not only about the jiu-jitsu. It's like you said, it's a vast, broad spectrum of your health, your mental health, your education, business. This is a very
No, it's
broad scope
gonna be.
of
I'm gonna
different
tell
talents.
exactly. I think example. Imagine you build a team who have superheroes in different areas. Your team is gonna be a 5-star team, and that's what I try to do. I want to get people good in so many different areas and unite and to help the Mac 5 to grow. Because the moment Mac 5 keep growing, just gonna help. I want to buy thousands of scholarships for kids to train jiu-jitsu for free. You know what I mean? When you do something
That
like that, come from union. Because imagine who another thing I want to focus, women's protection. Like example, how we protect women to training in the academies, not to take being advantage. You know what I mean? And so many problems right now we have a solution. Mac 5 want to be sure we structure any academy related to Mac 5 to create a protection system to be sure we have cameras at the academy, to be sure the woman's safe, to be sure, you know what I mean, we protect the ladies because we don't create a union like that, like almost like people who create something to diminish the sport of jiu-jitsu. We're gonna punish them too. Like, okay, you're not part of the community. You're not gonna be involved in any camp or anything Mac 5 do. You know what I mean?
right.
Yeah,
And
it's so
that's
beautiful
come
to
from
see
union,
somebody.
come from power. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I talk too
it's
much,
really
guys.
it's beautiful to see how you can it's beautiful to see, Professor, how your wisdom and all the years of you been involved in the world of jujitsu, and now you're like you've created this new fire in you, this new
It's gonna
passion,
be huge.
to kind of branch
You're
out
gonna
and
be
think of things
you're gonna be so
in a
happy
bigger
on the
picture.
future.
So how do people get involved in your organization? Like, right?
I think,
How far
example,
along the path?
yeah, one of the things, example, I'm very good in network. I've been traveled to I did over 1,000 seminars. I have this superpower relationship. But what Mark do, that's his part. Say, Mark, you're the one who talk the details. You're the one who talk to create the union, the rules. That later he can answer all your questions at the party. You know what I mean? I have so many guys want to help us. It's unbelievable. You know what I mean? Because jiu-jitsu is something not for everybody. You have kids, you have women, you have celebrities, you have athletes. How you can get all these guys to help each other is going to be awesome.
Tell you what,
It's
can I interject something
go
here
ahead.
real quick?
Yes, of course.
One thing is housing this energy that Higgin has and putting it together. What we have is, and he mentioned it great. It's an umbrella basically. I know when I was coming up running my schools, I would have trouble in certain areas, and then maybe your school, you may have had trouble in certain areas as well. And what we've tried to do is identify those areas and be able to have something someone can go to, almost like a, I don't want to say dismiss it into something like Amazon. This is okay. I need help in my school. Where do I go? You might, like Higgins said, you might be need video curriculum. We've got that from white belt to black belt. Do the black belts need it? No, but you might be able to use that in your school for the adults who want to buy that program, and you make money. So we're trying to do a win-win everywhere we're going, and so far so good. And we haven't even kicked off yet. Our true kickoff is going to be August 1st in San Clemente, California, and we will unleash the beast then. But on the way there, we're learning a lot. We're just doing a lot of different. We're doing podcasts, and we're doing more of a, what would you call, a grassroots approach. I like identifying guys like you guys who care about people. You're helping people in their careers, and what we want to do is do the same type thing, but on a large level. That's it. That's the legacy camp we're having. So thanks, Egan. Is
Yeah, I
that
mean
Higgin?
that no, that's Jason. I
Thanks, Jason.
think the professor has left us, I believe. The
Yeah.
professor has left the building.
Yeah, I'm just honored and humbled that we were able to have Professor Higan with us for that, even that short amount of time. So we appreciate him. You can let him know Professor Larry, let him know that we really appreciate his time.
Yeah, I will. I will. Now, the thing about Higan, I don't know if y'all know, he got promoted to red belt. So he's now a grandmaster, and there are other folks in that range, that
Line
are
him up.
alive. He's got a few
Hello,
others that he's working with, but it's a big
you guys can
project.
hear me?
Higan, we hear you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm taking up your space. Anyway, he was just promoted, and that we're going to celebrate that and celebrate a lot of the other old school guys at the camp that we're having in San Clemente. Okay.
Well, Professor, congratulations on your red belt. That's an
Thank you,
amazing,
thank you.
amazing feat.
It's a good accomplishment. I was so happy. It was very
Yeah.
Well, there are
special.
only a
Even
few
like
of you guys around.
yeah, but it was very special
Yeah.
because the Horium Grace come and gave to me. I have probably another 5 other red belts who gave to me. It's make me feel very special.
That's great. Well, I think with this organization that you're doing now, Professor, I think it's just so amazing that you're now able to kind of like, I feel like this is a legacy for you, setting this type of thing in place for everyone, including academy owners and practitioners out there all over the world. I think
Exactly.
what's great about it is this is going to carry on your legacy and your brother's legacy. So I think it's
I agree.
amazing.
I think like the moment you try help the community, you have good intention to help people. Sooner or later, it's gonna spread and people is gonna love, and we're gonna build the team to get better and better. It's gonna be huge. It's like just start. We start the engine. Now we just keep growing and see how far we can push. You know what I mean? But we have to be watched. You want to be sure we're surrounded by good people, a good mind. You know what I mean? That's going to be very important too because you don't want to bring bad apples to create drama, create issues to the organization. You have to be very select who you bring aboard too as to be a part of the family because you want to be sure it's good people and keep the bad apples away from us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Professor, I just have a quick question that just popped in my mind now is we're a podcast that connects careers in jiu-jitsu. So what we really talk a lot about is the principles of jiu-jitsu, how you can apply those principles of jiu-jitsu into your workplace, in your profession. So do you think that there'll be some stuff in your network and your union that will be resources to help people that are trying to work on their career growth?
Yes, basically like number one is to help people health. It help kids to have opportunity to be in a good environment for women, for kids. The next level is going to be when they get bigger. We're going to build a good union for build competition competitors to start competing. That's why I want to create camps and push the sport to the next level. But at the same time, the next thing we are going to try create in the field, I already have 15 quarter belts, red belts who are going to unite together to create a belt control system. The belt control systems, Act 5, want to be sure people follow the rules. You know what I mean? Like not somebody come, train 3 months and put a blue belt around the waist, or in less than 2 years already brown belt, or in 3 or 4 years already black belt. You have to have some kind of the judgment and test and control for don't keep the quality. We keep the instructors to be sure the recognitions have to be fight for. Because I want to explain it. For you get your belt, you have to put the sweat, blood, but on the end, you have honor to have the belt, not something for business. We're never going to sell a belt. We're never going to do things like that. And I want to be sure people have the belts official by the Mach 5. If people who pay the dues to have the recognition by us. You know what I mean? And I think
Yeah.
the union is going to bring so many because I think the life experience is amazing because I've been talking to some of the red belts who little by little bring to the thing. That's why when they bring the camp, it's going to have camps to these guys tell stories. These guys create all the books, all the things, all the even webinars, which people can have a conversation question for guys in that level, which we can create like how these guys accomplish uh, 60, 70 years of jiu-jitsu still have mind, the mind health and help people and stuff like that, the life experience. I think that's it's like same like you have a conversation. You want to be a director and sit down with Mel Gibson, Spielberg, Max Scorsese, and have a conversation with these guys. You're gonna learn more than any school in film. This life experience to be a martial artist, I want to bring to us, like all for free, because all these webinars is gonna have sponsors to create only for people from Mach 5 to get involved, to have access to all these major guys talking about the sport of jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean? It's almost like educational to where this jiu-jitsu from. You know what I mean? The history of this sport we love, to have all these amazing guys together to help to educate people to know about the history.
And it starts from the very beginning. If you read our core values, we've got our core values that list exactly what we're trying to accomplish and the good people doing the good things like Egan was saying. And then our mission is bigger than just an arm lock or a choke. It's okay. We're on the mats. We're creating in each individual school. We have a character in the school. Keep the character correct, like Egan was saying. Keep the good in and the bad out. And you do enough of that with enough people, it spreads. So it starts from day one.
It sounds like you guys are really trying to take the best education and scale it. So you have these experts that usually can only reach a small audience, but now you can take the expertise in each area and scale that so that many people can benefit from that. So tell us
Correct.
a little bit about how do people get involved in that? Like, for example, let's say our listeners are hearing this and they're like, I want to know more about this. I want to be on. I want to be in. Is it something you join? Is it like, can we go to your website and join it? Are you at that place yet? Or are we waiting until August 1st
I
and
believe
2nd
we
for the
are,
kickoff?
and Larry, we are already in the place,
Yeah.
right?
We're at a place.
Question for you. Like in your vision, your big vision, where do you see this in 2 years? Where do you see this evolving after 2 years of you working
It's
on
gonna
this,
be
doing your
it's
network?
gonna be it's gonna be a lot of good things. First, this is the core of everything. The next level is gonna be like I've been talking to the guys from Ashikucha, few billionaires, who probably gonna create another big organization, sport organization, to be sure we build the sport to the next level. I think jiu-jitsu is not yet on the pinnacle. I think jiu-jitsu is going to be something like a big sport in the future, which athletes get involved in the sport can make a big income with sponsors and pay-per-view and things like that. And I think to do an organization like Mac 5, who will later focus to push to the next level, I think we're gonna get there too. And I think right now we just create the Mac 5 union, but later I like to do
Foundation.
the Mac 5 or federation organization to help to create events. But right now, the most important for me is the union to bring all these guys together.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So are you going to at some point, do you want to put on, for example, big events like Naga and your own competitions with your own set of rules? Is that something that you could foresee in the future?
Yes.
Same like BJJF. BJJF right now do 180 events, right? A year. I'm gonna do 300. My challenge. I want to
300,
have
300.
every
Three,
300
no,
events of
Professor, I think you
competition a
should
year.
do 365.
Let's do it.
Since you have 365 wins, you got to do 365 a year.
Let's do
That's
it.
Yeah, that's a great. I like Jason. I like that idea. 365 wins and 0 losses. Whatever happened to in jiu-jitsu, you either win or learn. Where's your learning? You're always winning.
No. I learned a lot early
He was
age.
too
I
busy.
remember I have
He
a
was too
coach.
busy.
My coach, I
He
have
lose.
2 great coaches. I have Horst Gracie and Carlos Gracie Jr. I was the first black belt in Barra Gracie. He basically like
Wow.
when they used to be under Horst Gracie and Carlos Gracie Jr., I have opportunity to have privates with Hickson, crawling Grace was one of my teachers too. I train a lot of my cousins. And the bottom line, I have this record, 365 fights for around 8 years, no loss. I have 19 fights one day. That's little things I accomplished competing. But I have close to 785 fights, you know what I mean, in my career. But I lost some of these fights. Come to a point, losses is like part of the competition. You jump on the competition, you lose, come back, do your homework, you come back. You know what I mean? But competition
So
is fun.
the
You know what I mean?
365 was just in a row, back to back to back.
That's crazy. That's insane. That's got to feel
Like
good.
I give an example in Sambo, right? I fought I won 4 nationals in Sambo. After these, I fought 4 Pan Americans. After these, I fought 3 World Championships. In the 3 World Championships, I got bronze, silver, and gold. In all the Pan Americans I won, all the nationals I won. Only in Sambo, probably I have around 85 fights. You know what I mean? In 6 years. And after this, I did Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, probably have little bit over close to 600 fights, Abu Dhabi competitions. I compete 3 years in Abu Dhabi. No, 3 events of Abu Dhabi. I compete Greco-Roman, freestyle. I compete judo. I compete close to 65 events in judo. Yeah, I did try out for the Olympic team before. I did like all kind. In judo, I have close to a little bit over 140 fights in judo. Base was life experience. Know what I mean? Jiu-jitsu
So
was where yes.
when you've done that many competitions, high level, do you still get nervous at all when you compete, or is it totally like, I've done this a million times?
No, it's not that. It's everything is here. Your mindset. You have to understand the mindset. When you learn how to have adrenaline, is good. I like to be nervous because nerve will keep me sharp and I keep my eyes open. I don't want to do any mistake. The problem when they do mistake, when they don't have no adrenaline, I'm too comfortable. That's no good. You have to take every fight 100%. So don't do mistake. Doesn't matter who you fight. And I have to learn that the hard way. Sometimes I think I'm going to be the guy easy. The guy gave me a hard time. That was a good lesson sometimes. But the bottom line,
Right.
life experience, competition is mindset. You train, you do your homework, you'll be fine. The competition is the small part. The hard part is the training. You know what I mean? And I did the homework. I used to do the training hard. But when you come to a point your body is not there. After a while, your body starts complaining. The second problem I have is the hunger. I was not hungry after a while. After a while, I'm not that hungry to compete like you used to. You know what I mean? I think that's a natural, you know what I mean, thing happen to you. You lose your hunger. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I think
Yeah,
in
all
life
while
experiences are.
yeah, all while being an amazing human
Can I ask a
being too.
question?
You know,
Where you
because
guys located?
we're in the
Where
Boston area.
awesome. You know what? I'm gonna in the future come to visit you guys. I got a cousin of mine who have a school there. I'm gonna do a seminar. I'm gonna visit you guys.
Okay,
This is
we are in.
I've never rolled with a red belt. This is going to be crazy. This is going to
Nah,
be
you can
so
beat
much
me up,
fun.
no problem. We have some
Professor,
good time.
Professor, real quick, do you see Frank's name on the podcast here? The clock burner? The
His
skull?
name, I see it. No,
It
I
says
don't.
the clock burner.
What does that mean?
No, I don't see it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyways, his nickname on our podcast is the clock burner. So I want to know what your thoughts about that are, because when Frank rolls, he tries his best to try to burn the clock as much as he can so he doesn't get so tired.
I'm 58 years old, and these young guys. So when Jason presses go on the clock, I always fix my belt, fix my gi a little bit. I ask my partner, "How you doing? Any injuries I have to worry about?" I've got a litany of things. I could burn at least 40 seconds off that clock before I start rolling, and that is a lifesaver. I'm gonna do a teach-in on our channel, and we're gonna
How
send you
funny.
free access to it.
That's
That's
great.
access.
What are your thoughts on that, Professor?
I think this guy's a lean, mean fight machine. I'm scared of him already.
That comment right there is going to be our highlight, and I'm going to show all of my students. I'm a teacher. I'm a high school teacher. I'm going to show all my students that you said that,
Show
and
them.
they're going to have yeah, they're going to be like, okay, all right, respect. Yes, we would absolutely love for you to come visit us. We
It
love
would
to
be my
learn from
pleasure.
you and share what we do.
I like
We are
Boston.
going,
Boston's very cool.
yeah, Boston. We're actually like an hour outside of Boston, but if you come to visit us, we'll take you to Boston. We'll take you around
All right.
Boston. Then we'll take you back to our gym. We'll roll. We'll have fun. Share some
All
wisdom.
right.
It'll be
Let's
great.
do it.
Yes, absolutely. We're gonna roll with a red belt. We're gonna do it.
We will. Guys, I don't want to be rude. I'm going to jump for meet these producers and directors. And what an honor to have a chance to talk to you guys. Now, it's all yours. You can ask him anything he's going to ask.
All right.
Okay.
Take care,
Thank you
We
so
guys.
got
much
lots
for
of
your time,
questions lined
Professor.
up. Thank you so much.
Thank-
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
My pleasure, sir.
See you
My
again.
pleasure.
Take care, brother.
Wow, Larry, it looks like we're famous now.
You're it, man. You are it. It's awesome.
I can't believe it. This is like we're talking to top brass, and
Mhm.
it's really an honor. It's an honor for us. This is just so exciting to just tap into the minds at the very, very top of the pyramid and get their wisdom and be able to share that with our listeners. We're really excited. So I just want to talk to you a little bit about Larry. How do people get involved in your organization? So our listeners right now are probably pumped up about our practitioners are probably pumped up about the ability to lock in to the wisdom of the elites, right? And
Mhm.
get their strategies, their philosophies, maybe their training, their health tips, all of this stuff. And then
Mhm.
I'm sure there's a lot of school owners that listen to us that are like,
Mhm.
how do I become part of this federation, this organization? How do I connect to it? So can you give our both our practitioners and our listeners who are gym owners some ideas of how we can connect with you and get involved in your organization?
Yes, I think appreciate that. Yes, the best thing is I've got a kind of a hotline set up. It has a California area code, but it's 213-714-0614. And chances are that I will not be able to pick up and leave a message, or they can text that for us to give him a call. Whoever it is who comes in, we can give
So
them a call
that's
back.
so that's 213-714-0614.
1-4. Yeah, and then also I have a website. My email for the Mach 5 is not there yet, so I'll just give my school. It's professor at Hendo, Hendo, BJJ.com. And either of those, those lines, again, we haven't really opened yet, but we can answer questions and we can get people where they want to go. The thing I like most about Mach 5 that attracts people for so many years, I would just send $150 a month and I would have logos, or I've heard of people just get logos and no support. And there's a lot of folks out there I know who do that. So that was kind of the brainstorm that started everything, was get video curriculum, for adults and kids. And we got that. And then we started branching out a little bit, like, okay, there are a lot of people out there. We've been around a while. Higgins been around and knows a lot of people. There are people who know how to help build businesses. So you can connect them, connect the dots within the jiu-jitsu community, which is huge now and getting bigger. And we had a lot of no-gi. I never really concentrated on no-gi. I would do gi and vale tudo, which is taking the gi top off and more street fight type thing. But we have a complete six degree black belt out in Arizona who has a tremendous no-gi program, and he's a 6'3" Gracie Jiu-Jitsu black belt. So he's incredible. And again, we want to touch law enforcement. We want to touch, I've got a book out that just talks about like ladies in real estate. I got safety tips that will include all the books we've written will be available. And if other people want to pull up, we're open to just making things easier on each other in this system versus harder. And it's just, we're going to evolve. I want to look at it more like we work through the belt system in jiu-jitsu. It's not an overnight deal, but each day we get better and better. Each day we show up, we get better and
Yep.
better.
You're 1%. You're 1% every day, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we got big goals. And I'm a big goal setter, and I try to achieve most of them. But sometimes the dates don't always match up. But you don't change the goal; you change the finish line. And we're a
Right.
little slower getting up our program than we had hoped, but we're still ahead of the game of getting things ready for the kickoff. So,
So
but
when you
go
talk
ahead.
about your curriculum, sorry to interrupt you there. When
No
you
worries.
talk about your curriculum and you're saying you have like no-gi programs, white to black belt programs. So is this something that just the school can tap into and share with its members, or can individual members also tap into that?
We're going toward where individual, again, we've got his association, and he's got all this in there, but we're making it where the other folks and other lineages can go there and they can get the curriculum, and then they can even again, my web designer is a genius, but he can design it where if you want to sell it in your school, you can put that up on your site. You'll pay, but also it will be an income maker for the school owners. So it's a big process, but we want to have our association all buttoned up perfect. And then we want to help others where if they want to see something they like that we offer, let them get it. And everyone wins in that scenario. I've got a Kid Jitsu program. Several years ago, I trademarked Kid Jitsu. I got videos, and we've redone the videos 3 times now, so it's updated. And it said white belt it used to be just a green belt, now it's green black belt for the kids. And it's step by step, written as well as video. So how could the school owner benefit from that? Well, they get the program within their part of the umbrella, and they can offer it to their students, like the parents of the students, and they can watch it at home. And so that takes jujitsu to the home as well.
So an example of your curriculum could be if you have a jiu-jitsu program and this week we're working on back takes, and this is what we're going to be doing all this week. And if you want at home, if you're part of our gym, you can look exactly at the techniques we're going to be teaching and moving through for the week on a video with the details. So when you come in and we start to drill them, you already know some of the minute details of that if you want to get ahead.
Correct. It's a teach the teacher format. To teach the teacher
Gotcha.
format is a good way to look at it.
A teach the teacher format, but the teacher can use those videos as a prelude to their class, or as
Absolutely.
a wrap up to their class. Everything we did in class, you can go on the video and you can rewatch it to get it stuck in your head.
Correct.
That's very interesting. So it's a full plug and play curriculum, or you can just take modules as you wish.
Correct. Well, no, I don't want to overstep. It's a complete curriculum, and I believe he's got it. Yeah, he's got it by belt. That's right. Yeah, he can go by belt. And also it has testing procedures of what you have to. It's a real concise formula. I mean, you put a kid through Kid Jitsu, if they start at 10 and they hit 15, when they're 16, they'll be a blue belt. If they do correctly, they have the opportunity to be there. So yeah, that's big. And for now, and that's where I've always put a lot of my interest is in helping the kids, and then the parents who Higgins got a free heart, I've got a free heart, really wanting to help people, and we've been able to help people in that kids program, probably thousands of kids at this point.
Well, I love that you're doing scholarships for kids who need it, because there's a lot of, like, I'm in a middle class town, a very good middle class town with a good school system. But there are kids that would love to take jujitsu, but they just don't have the money. And that kind of
Exactly.
scholarship, I think that is a huge, huge benefit to society because those are the kids who can really use it, the disadvantaged kids that don't have something else to do. That maybe they go home, their parents aren't there. And
Hmm.
going to a jujitsu program after school every day would be a saving grace. And we've talked to people, Jason and I have talked to people on our show that had it rougher when they were kids, and
Hmm.
jujitsu basically straightened them out completely, and now they own their own gyms.
Yeah.
So I love that, and I would want to know more about that as you go. Would you please keep us in touch with that
Absolutely.
about that?
Absolutely.
I'm a
Yes, sir.
teacher. I'm a teacher, so I would definitely love for my kids to have some access to that.
I tell you what, when we're up and running, I have your information. I will give you entry into that program and review it yourself. And you guys tell me how to improve it
Yes,
because we're all
yes,
in this together, man.
Professor Machado said something about a mental health component of this thing.
Your mindset cannot stay the same as it was when it started. And he's a big one on the mindset. Like, you hear how he's gonna do it and he doesn't know how he's gonna do it all the time, but he's gonna do it and he makes it happen. So it's been an interesting ride working with him. It's been a lot of fun.
definitely. And at the very end of our conversation, I definitely want to get a call to action for you. So you let us know what you want our listeners to do after they listen to this.
Hmm.
And I wanted to switch gears if I could. Jason was telling me an amazing story about you. So, a defibrillator story. Can you share
Yep.
that with our
Oh
listeners?
yeah, of course, of course. I'll just give you a quick glimpse of my career. I was in medical device sales for 20 years. And along the way, and I was in like balloon stents for angioplasty, surgical instruments at one time, and then one of my last jobs, I had like four different companies I worked for, was a defibrillator company, the first automatic external defibrillator. So put that one in your cap for now. I met Hickson Gracie when it was in 1994. I was lucky enough to get tickets to a ground fighting seminar. Now I was taking karate and I was horrible. I mean, I was the worst. I couldn't kick high. I was a football player. And we went to this ground fighting seminar. I got the local gym. I had my good friend was the head coach there. Got the gym and show up, and there's this guy. He's not a big guy, not he was built, good looking dude. I'm thinking that's him. The best fighter. They're saying he's the best fighter in the world. Turns out to be Hickson Gracie. So we learned a few of the fundamentals on the mats over a course of 2 days, 2 4-hour days, and that Saturday night, I actually spent time with him because I had gotten the gym and the coach took me home and I sat at the table and I still don't realize this guy's is who he is, right? I found out the next day because at the end of the seminar, he would roll with everybody who wanted to roll with him. The gym we had a lot of people, so it's probably about 100 people, 30 or 40 of them wanted to roll with him. I waited a while. I'm thinking, ooh, he's good. So I hope he'd get tired. It couldn't have been 15 seconds, man. He puts his hand out and I didn't know what to do, and I pretty much attacked him like a wrestler would, right? And about 15 seconds later, he's whispering in my ear. He's got me in a rear naked choke. Early Christmas gift, my friend. It was November. Early Christmas gift, my friend. I'll never forget it. My whole life changed that day, and I started going. I was traveling with that defibrillator company out to LA about once every 6 or so weeks at that time. So I would plug in when I was there. I'd do my job, go train jiu-jitsu. I'd go for their week-long camps. Horion used to do a week-long camp and hoist. Go to those anytime I could. And ended up getting my blue belt from Horion. And that's what started my career. That was probably and I wasn't a blue belt. It's actually, I was the guy who went out there and bought the tapes, and they wanted to start the Gracie Jiu-Jitsu Training Association, and I was the guy in North Florida. So it was right place at the right time. But anyway, back to the story. That's how I got into jiu-jitsu. I retired in 2001. And I was looking, what am I going to do? I ended up opening a storefront. My wife said, your phone. I had a cell phone and a one-page website in '02, '01, somewhere thereabouts. And my phone was ringing off the hook, and I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do with my life. And I tried real estate, I tried mortgages, I didn't like any of it. And she goes, well, I guess she's been with me long enough to know I wouldn't figure it out myself. So she goes, you need to probably open a gym. I'm like, okay. And we did storefront in '05. And by then, everything kicked off because that's when the UFC show came on in the 2005 timeframe, the show on television. And Forrest Griffin and they just beat the heck out of each other, and it exploded. Everyone came out of the woodwork. So timing was good. So fast forward to 2008, I'm 14 years in. I got my black belt. Everything's great. Gym is just exploding. We got kids programs. We got valet tutor programs. We got advanced programs. It was just had taken off really well. And it was, let me see, June 17th, 2009. I'm finishing up teaching a valet tutor class. I'm passing the guy's guard. It was a valet tutor guard. Passing, and I got to side control, and it was late in the class. It was around 6:50, about 10 minutes left in the class, and I felt like a shock went through my whole body. Then I felt like I couldn't breathe I knew I was going out, and I thought he's not choking me because I just had a t-shirt on. I dropped dead, sudden cardiac arrest, boom, gone. They told me it was 5 minutes until I got my heartbeat back. But think of this. We had an external defibrillator in the house. I had bought one after knowing what they do for my gym. And it was a joke. There was another guy who his family had a history of heart issues. And I said, well, if we ever go down, I get the pads first because there's only one set of pads if we went down at the same time. So that was a joke. But what happened? Waiting on the sideline was my guys were in service on how to use that. Oral surgeon was in the house waiting for the next class. So was a respiratory therapist. So everything lined up. And most of the time you call 911 and it takes several minutes to get there. 911, the emergency crew was in the same parking lot eating. And they basically walked over or ran over. So within 3 to 5 minutes, I had help, and that's what saved me. So that's when I'm thinking, oh, I wake up pretty much about halfway to the hospital. I start waking up. My heart had been beating, but I'd still been out, and I heard some sounds that said he's responding. He's responding, and I looked up, and there's a guy in a blue suit, and I knew it wasn't Jesus. But something bad had happened. So, and that's what happened. I had dropped dead from a sudden cardiac arrest from it wasn't a blockage. It was electrical system, with the EKG and all that. And it was, my heart was, remember Pistol Pete Maravich, the basketball player? Pistol Pete?
I wouldn't
Okay,
know.
remember him? Well, he dropped dead on the courts after he had retired, and his coronary anatomy is exactly like mine. Big right coronary. I looked, I saw the film, spaghetti on the other side, but they saved me. I ended up getting a defibrillator, and I've been training with a defibrillator longer than I trained without one. So jiu-jitsu not only saved my life, it saved my attitude. Everything that day forward has been a bonus, and that's been 17 years.
Wow.
That's
what a story. I mean, what fate. You bought these things and they're like, it's kind of a joke, and then
Yep.
Bam, you die on the mat, you're actually dead and you're revived. That's
Yep.
crazy.
Yep.
Did you have any out of body experience or anything during that time that you remember?
Just a white flash. That's a white flash.
White flash.
And I woke up to a big old dude in a blue suit going, uh-oh, something went wrong. But I did. Yeah, it was a white flash.
Flashes. I've heard of that. But actually, I've experienced that under the pressure of Big Juan on many occasions. The white flash from Big Juan's pressure. But that's an amazing story, man. That is somebody's watching out for you for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. Faith is carried me through, and I actually had another part of that story. If you want to add to it,
of course.
Yes, please.
16, I had to go get the battery changed, but I went and got it changed at Emory University. Had to go to Emory to get it changed. They couldn't do it in Jacksonville. So I got it changed. Ended up going home. I got septic with MRSA, dying. Get this though.
What?
took me to the same, the site that they had, for some reason, I got infected. So it was here, and I had to get to Atlanta, Georgia, and I was literally dying. And they didn't have a helicopter, so they put me on a board on my back, 7 hours, 8 hours, I think it took them to get to Emory. And I spent, I want to say 22 days. They took out this one, put me in a vest that would do the same job as a defibrillator, had to wait for this to heal. The where it started was in my blood. So it took days and days, and then they went back in and put it on this side. So that's 2 near death. It's just, my whole life changed again. It's like, I guess God said, well, I didn't quite convince you this first go around, so I'm going to get after you again. But ended up got clean. I was on the mat with the heart attack or the sudden cardiac arrest. I got on the mat within a month coaching, and then I was training about 2 months into it. With this I had a pick line in for 6 weeks where I got my medicine through a pick line, and I had to carry a ball, and I got on the mat then about 2 weeks afterwards coaching. And then it took another till this pick line was out. I couldn't train anymore. As soon as the pick line was out, I got to train again. So I tell my wife, I should have picked like shuffleboard as my sport of choice but I picked jujitsu.
Man,
And
you've been
been
to
to
the
the
edge twice. You've stood and looked down. You know what? Jason? We got to get him a 9 lives gi because this guy's got 9
Yes.
lives. 9 lives. One of our
Yes.
former guests, they make these beautiful gis, and they actually sent me one. I'm going to wear it on my next podcast. You can see
That's
it's
funny.
beautiful, but you
Yeah.
should get a 9 lives gi. You really should. We'll send you the link, Jason. Can we send them the
Yes.
link? Yeah.
I'm sure we can just get him one. We'll get him one. We'll get you one. Don't worry, Larry. Yeah, Larry, I mean, I just want to say this. We talked for our audience. I want our audience to hear this and our listeners. Larry was a sales rep for, I think you said Boston Scientific and like Johnson and Johnson, was it?
Johnson & Johnson, Boston Scientific, and
Yeah, and you
Guidant.
sold. Yeah, and you sold a lot of this medical equipment, including the AED that actually saved your life.
Yeah, the brand AED that saved my life. Yes, it was the
That
first
is
company.
that
Yeah, and I could
It's like
tell what
almost
they
like
were doing. I could tell what they were doing because I had been in the cath lab so many years that when they shot the ink, that goes to the heart, I knew and I could read what was going on. And then when they shot the other side, that's when they put me out. And then so I knew what was going on, and I'm like, ooh, that's not good. But I still woke up. Keep waking up, man. So it's been a blessing.
Yeah,
God has been good to
we
us.
talked about this. Yeah. Yeah, we talked about this on our pre-interview, how like the universal energies that you put out there through your job and your career actually came back to you to save your life, I
Mhm.
just think that's an incredible story. That's the ultimate of connection between career and jiu-jitsu, right?
I would say so.
definitely.
I would say so. It was
It's a perfect
quite an event.
podcast for your story, Gary. I mean,
Yeah,
Larry.
man. I was glad to be able to do this. This was good. And I think my whole thing is one of my students after the second one go round came, he found a book. It was about resilience. And in it he wrote, "You're the most resilient guy I've ever known." And I kind of took pride in it, but then I'm like, well, that's there are a lot of people out there who are going through a lot harder things than I did. And my whole mission has been, okay, I want to help a lot of people already have in certain ways prior to that, but that made me want to dig in harder with the Kid Jitsu program, made me want to get more parents on the mats, because had I not been, I was in probably the best shape of my adult life. Actually, I ran a marathon in 1993. That was the best time, but after that, life started happening, but then I got in great shape, and that's when it happened. So I think doing jiu-jitsu and the discipline of showing up every day, you get that, and then you can apply it in other areas. And so people who I've had addicted guys with addictive personalities, addictions, raging alcoholics. I mean, you name it. They've come on the mat. They tell me their story, and And if it's appropriate, I kind of share mine to let them know, hey, it can be tough, but you can't give up. You can never give up. And that's kind of been my attitude for years. Is had a kind of rough childhood and had a chip on my shoulder, and that made me a good fighter and a good football player. Didn't make me a great person. And jiu-jitsu has made me a better person. I mean, not that I was out hurting people, but my thought processes were just not quite right over the course of time. And every time I've had something very bad happen to me, something very good is right around the corner. So it's we're all under trials. We all have our stories. We can't lay down for the stories, but we can sure learn from them and work through things. But if anyone's ever question, okay, can I do this? Yeah, you can. A lot of things that aren't easy, but you can stick with it and you can do it. And even, I just have great faith, and there's a reason for me, like you said before. It's there's something left for me to do, and I don't want any music left in this body when I go. I want all the music to get out. So that's what we're doing now.
Wow. What a great explanation of the parallels of jiu-jitsu in life. Amazing. Well, Larry, we're getting to the end of our podcast today, and so this is a wonderful time of our podcast, Larry, where we get our takeaways. So, Frank, what time is it?
Let me check my watch. Why, Jason and Larry, it's tap out time, where we wrap up some of the golden nuggets of our conversation for our listeners. And this is a little bit of a different one because we're really talking about, well, there's really two parts to this. But the first part is just a very exciting organization called Mach 5. And we want our listeners to understand what's coming down the pipe, being developed right now, I guess officially kicking off with a Legends Camp on August 1st and August 2nd, 2026 in California, where they have top brass red belts, coral belts, high degree black belts, teaching seminars for I think it's 2 days. And we're going to put a link to that event in the bio. So congratulations, Larry, for that big step forward with the organization of Mach 5, which is an organization that is going to scale knowledge and education about jiu-jitsu and health and education and community outreach all in one hub that's going to be scaled globally. So everybody, we have the call to action. If there are gyms that want to get involved in that, give Larry a call at 213-714-0614. That's 213-714-0614. Reach out and definitely connect early. So we're very excited about that. And we got to talk to Rigan Machado, who is royalty. We got to talk to him, chat with him. We feel like we're famous now. That's really cool for us. And so that was a great part. And then we got to talk to you, Larry, a little bit about your personal life and some cool things that have happened to you. So one of the things I wanted to just mention,
I wouldn't call him cool.
Well,
I wouldn't
I
call him
mean
cool.
the fact that you came back from the dead twice is pretty damn cool. That's that's a religious experience. And so
Yes.
one of the things just to remind people out there is miracles can happen. Miracles can happen, and Larry, they've happened to you. You're living proof of it. Just a beautiful thing to remind everybody of.
Yes.
You talked about one of the most important things for anybody in jiu-jitsu or in life, and you called it resilience. And I think that's the perfect word. When I teach my high school kids, I always tell them motivation is sugar. It's great. When you get motivated, that's sugar. It's nice. Use it. Have fun with motivation. But that even people who are losing at life do great when they're motivated. The real thing is discipline. Discipline is what gets everybody what they want. However, even the most disciplined people also have days where they're not and they fail. And the most important foundation of success is the ability to be resilient. When things don't go your way, which happened to you, Larry, a number of occasions, it wasn't motivation, it wasn't discipline. You needed resilience to say, all right, listen, I might not be great right now. I'm not expecting greatness. I just want to get up. I just want to get up
Hmm.
and keep going.
Hmm.
And you said that word, keep going. And you also talked about how so many people have addictions. And it could be a drug addiction. It could be any kind of addiction. It could be alcoholism. And jujitsu helps them with the resilience, such that it actually changes their life. And that's a beautiful story about how the art of jujitsu helps every component of somebody's life and career. And Jason, you and I have had so many conversations of so many people with seemingly insurmountable things to overcome, and they all say jujitsu gave them the resilience to get through that. So I'm glad that you brought that up. That's a great point. I also loved something you said too that I find very inspirational. I want to let the music play. I want to get all the music out of me while I'm here. That is definitely a stoic philosophy. You understand. I mean, you more than anybody, bouncing back from the dead, understands that we're not here. None of us, even our young listeners, we're not here for long. We're not. And so let the music play. Live your life and enjoy the music. That is like one of the biggest takeaways for me that you gave us. So thank you so much, A, for giving us this kind of open door to your new organization, Mach 5, to the new organization you're promoting with the professor. Thank you for opening that door for us. And also thank you for opening your door to your wisdom that we just shared with all the people listening. We're very, very grateful for that. And we hope that when Rigan comes to roll with us, that you come and you roll with us too.
Love to. Would love to. It's not quite the hike he has, but I would love to. That's excellent.
You are
I appreciate
invited.
you for. Yep. We'll make that happen. I promise you too, guys. We will promote you in our like on the network, like the Facebooks and the Instagrams. We'll promote you guys as well.
Well, we
Thank
really
you.
appreciate that. I mean, you have a lot of leverage, and our listeners will appreciate that. We will appreciate that, and that's the whole giver's gain kind of thing. So thank you for helping us.
And
Thank you.
you can let Professor Machado know that, we know that the Career Jitsu podcast is what's going to make him famous. I know he's not famous enough, but we're
Yeah, we
Well, that's what
wanted to give him a shot.
that's what we're
We're here to
counting
help the
on.
little people.
No, I'm with you guys. We're all in it. We're all in it together, and
We are.
we love this. I love what you guys are doing. I know Rigan just loves life, and he's as good a guy as you'll ever meet. So we will. You look out for us. We look out for you. Deal?
100%.
Awesome.
We got your back. We got your back.
Okay.
Thank you
Thanks,
so much.
fellas.
And to our listeners, we're going to put the links, any links that you have for us, Larry, we'll put that in the description of our episodes so that our listeners can click on any of the information that we talked about too. Okay.
I do want to say one thing. I've got a book on Amazon, Kindle or Amazon. It's Resilient Never Never Give Up. And it's a little notebook,
Damn.
but yeah, it's a little notebook. It's not a big book. Doesn't cost much, but it goes in detail of what we've talked about here from there are other stories too, guys. So I'm like the walking wounded, but if you could share that, that would be great as well. It's resilient.
Can
Yeah,
you,
absolutely.
Larry? Yeah. Can you just send Jason a list of your links and a tiny description for each, and then we'll get
I'll-
that right up there.
Okay, perfect. We'll do it. All right,
All
guys.
right. Awesome.
Excellent.
Thank you so much.
We
Okay,
appreciate
guys.
you.
guys.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Have an
guys.
Enjoy
awesome
your
day.
weekend.
Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye.
Well, there you have it. As we wrap up today's episode, let's take a moment to reflect on the powerful connections we've explored between the art of jiu-jitsu and your career. In your workplace and in jiu-jitsu, you learn to adapt and navigate challenges. So remember that persistence and the courage to embrace the lessons that you learn are the keys to your growth both on the mat and in your career.